Morby, do you have anything to say?
No.
No? Okay, Rayan, going back to you. I felt like you had like this question about like what was the inspiration for his poem or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was wondering if his poem was referring to maybe World War I or the other. I don't really remember what I was saying last time, but yeah, I was wondering if it referred to maybe like something terrible that happened in his life or.
Like a great event. So you feel like he was inspired by something great that happened recently within maybe a couple to 4 to 8 years or something like that.
Something like war.
Yeah.
And you were referring to World War I, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And I was wondering, does that have anything to do with the date? Because it's like 1920, right?
Yeah, and like World War I ended like maybe 1918, right? Like around that year. Yeah. So I was wondering if that was like the actual
inspiration for this poem.
Yeah.
And he was wondering like, what was the cause of World War, or like.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think I would agree with that question because, like, I feel like we could answer that through the text, right? Because, like, I don't know, he mentions hate and destruction, and that's usually what causes wars, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, it's just that the time this poem was written is so close to, like...
World War I, the end of World War I.
So it could be just, like, it's something to show that, like, the world can be destroyed through hate, which like also mentioned as ice in the poem, but it's not as great as like a force as desire.
Like destroying the world through our desires.
Yeah. So like this like ice would be a great enough like it would be great enough to like actually cause like enough destruction, right? To like end the world, but then I don't think it would be as great as fire, and like the way it's written in this poem.
Okay, so like we found an example for ice where it was hate, and we said that it was like war. I was just wondering, like, what would an example of desire be? Like, how would our desires kind of destroy the world? You know?
Okay, maybe an example right now, like in the modern day, people just like all they keep wanting to do is they want like more money, right? Like you always. Like the more money people make, the more they go, right?
Yeah.
And we're just like creating like a terrible environment after. Like we're just building so many more like
pipelines,
like,
for example.
Kind of like destroying the forest, destroying the trees.
And like all these industries and everything, it's creating more money, and like it's people are getting more of what they want, but they're still going for more.
Building the economy,
which is
to build
in turn would eventually end the world in fire. That's what I feel like.
So you're saying pretty much like people's desire for money can destroy the world? Like a good example of desire here?
Yeah.
Okay, is it only money, or is there like other desires as well?
Love could be another example too, like from Romeo and Juliet.
I think
like
how like they sacrifice themselves, or like they
exactly like that, they could have even I don't know. They could have, like, for example, if it was like even now, they could have set off nukes for all they cared. They could have thrown grenades. I don't even know, like done anything crazy just because the other person died and they lost like that feeling, like they felt empty because their desire was to love that person, to love each other, right? But because they lost each other, they couldn't do that anymore. So that was like another.
Okay, so in Romeo and Juliet, it's because they lost the desire for love that they became so destructive, right? But whereas for the money thing, it's like their desire is kind of feeding them to destroy the world. You know? Yeah. Cool.
In Romeo and Juliet, they didn't lose their desire for love. They kept it on by killing each other.
Yeah, exactly. They killed themselves because they still desire to love each other, but it wasn't possible.
Oh, kind of like love each other in another world, kind of like the heaven world, kind of.
Maybe. I don't think it's like exactly like that. It's just that because they lost each other in that world, that they were just like...
Oh, they wanting to like meet each other. No.
Maybe meet each other, or they just felt like giving up just because they lost them. And it's just like really, like it creates really destructive behavior.
I think they gave up in the real world so that they could meet each other afterward.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was... Yeah.
Because if they both killed themselves, then they both would have ended up in the same place. Depending on,
Yeah.
If there is a place after.
Okay, cool. Is there any more questions, or are we good?
We're good on the
So
questions.
why
Yeah? Okay.
Okay.
So what's the next thing?
Why do people behave that way?
did we sort of go through that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we're talking about why Romeo and
Okay, so what do we learn? What is the truth about life and the world?
Did we go over that? Well, we kind of talked about how like desires was like economy wise with money and stuff. We talked about how war was like hate and ice. Okay, in your opinion, wait, no, we went over that. We went over how like we thought that hate was less destructive than desires. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so what do you think we learned today about this discussion?
I just went over that.
Okay, would you mind repeating yourself? Because I kind of missed it.
Okay, so I said that we went over what we learned from this because, we talked about how desires in real life was like economy-wise with money, and we talked about how ice and hate was relating to war, and we also talked about how ice and hate was less destructive than fire and desires, because war could end, whereas our desires continue to grow.
So you believe that could be the truth about the world? Like, about life? Is that, like, you think?
Okay, in my opinion, yeah, I do think desires are greater than hate.
I think desires can also end like hate. Desires can end too. Kind of like how in Romeo and Juliet, after
Do you have an example for that?
an example of desire ending, or an example of by example is Romeo and Juliet, or for some example, businessmen. Like, you know how Donald Trump basically reached the top by becoming president? Mm-hmm. He had it over his business, which he obviously, grew up to his son-in-law. No, his son. Because after building up all his money and becoming basically the richest man in America, basically, around the richest man.
Like, he became very rich, filthy rich.
Yeah, he became filthy
just
rich,
stick with that, yeah.
and now he doesn't need any other money. He's a president now, so his desire for money basically ended, and then he grew another desire, which I hope he wants to make America better, like he says.
Do you think that maybe his original desire was for power and not for actual money?
I think now that he gained that power, because he has all the money and he's a president
Or maybe he desired that even before. Sorry for interrupting you. But maybe he actually desired, like, power from the start. And he used money as, like, basically like a ladder to get up to there. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like money equals to power.
Yeah, so maybe he's given away those businesses to focus on his desire, to aim for more. Because he might even try to control the world, for all we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you agree with me, but that's what I kind of think about. So I don't really agree with that example 100%, but like I feel like you tried.
Okay, wait. No, so Yusef, you're saying that like his desire was power, right? Yeah.
I feel like he desired power and not money. Like he
Okay.
used money to sort of help him reach his desires. But
Yeah. And wait, what's Morby saying? So what did you think?
I said that I thought I was saying that his desire
so you
was
thought,
money.
like, now that
Was
he reached
money?
that state
Okay,
of
but, like,
presidency, or
He has a
whatever,
new desire for more power. Because I'm saying he
you
didn't
think
just
he
have
moved on from desire of money to power, right?
like. in
Whereas
Romeo
you're
and-
saying that his desire from the beginning was power. Yeah.
I think that's what I would do.
Okay.
And my other example was with Romeo and Juliet. After Romeo and Juliet died, that's when the Capulet and the Montagues kind of feud ended.
Because they realized.
That those two were in love. Because even if they didn't die and those two were in love, the feud would have also ended. Yeah.
But don't you think that would be like the feud ending? Don't you think that would be a good example for hate ending?
Yeah.
Because
The desire. Because all the Montagues, even though they don't know what happened,
I feel like you're confusing it a little bit. Because you're saying desire to hate, right?
Well, it could
But-
be desire to love. Like they found the desire to love each other again.
Or maybe they lost the feeling of hate for each other. So maybe it was like the other way from what you thought. Like it's
Okay, yeah.
not,
I think
they
desire-
lost the feeling to hate each other, and not the desire to hate each other. Because like it's sort of, I feel like you're confusing it a little bit. Because like desire and hate are usually the same, like to be put together. Do you get what I mean?
desire is like the energy into it. Like
the
Like a
the
feeling.
fire.
Yeah, to
Fire,
do something.
The fire in somebody to do like
What they achieve.
what they want. What like
Yeah, well, the Montagues that are like that grew up, like for example, us, like your grandpa, if he had some like feud with someone, another family, not family, another family, right? And you right now, you feud with that family, even though you don't know what the feud is, you have the desire to keep it on simply because you are part of that family. That's what I mean by desire to hate. I don't mean that.
Oh,
just,
okay.
Okay. Like the
mean,
desire
like, they
to
want
continue
to
that
hate.
hate.
Yeah, they want.
Yeah.
The
Okay. What do you think,
desire
Rhea?
yeah, I think I agree with Morby. I think during Romeo and Juliet, it was pretty much the desire to continue hating the Montagues and the Capulets.
So the desire to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. What else is there?
I think we pretty much covered.
No, we're
Okay.
just
How
talking.
does the text answer or explain my question? Yeah. Where else do I see examples? Yeah. Okay. Why do people behave that way? Do we answer that?
Yeah.
Why do people behave that way?
Not directly.
Not directly. Okay. What do we learn? What is the truth about life, the world, people that the story reveals? Okay, cool. We good?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Uploading.